யாதம் உரே யாவரும் கேடீர்.
செம்மொழி வலையொலி யூடியூப் சேனல். இந்த சேனலின் மூலமாக, அந்த வலையொலியின் மூலமாக பல்வேறு தகவல்களை தினந்தோறும் நாங்கள் வழங்கி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த நிலையில் முழுமையாக கண்டு பார்க்கலாம்.
This is a new historicist study of select Sangam poems. Some of the reputed Sangam poets did not hesitate to counsel the kings and to admonish them when they went wrong. According to Purappurul Venba Malai, Seviyari Uru is meant for teaching the kings noble thoughts. Sevi Arai or Seviyari Uru is defined by Elamburanar as dinning into the ears of someone the lesson that it is one's duty to be restrained and humble in the midst of the elders. Verses 2, 3, 5, 6, 35, 40, 55 and 184 tell the kings how they should conduct themselves. The king is asked to be conscious of his responsibility, to do everything to keep his land fertile, to patronize arts by liberally helping all artists, and to save the poor from poverty. Though he is praised for his victories, he is warned against indulging in too many wars and causing mindless destruction. When Soran Nalangalli besieged Urayur, ruled by his own brother Nedungalli, Kovur Kirar asked them not to make fools of themselves by fighting against each other. Here is his advice: your enemy doesn't wear the pale leaf of the great panai or a chaplet from the black branched bamboo tree. The garland you wear is dense with ati. The garland your foe wears is also the same. Even if one is defeated, it is a defeat for the entire clan. Nor is it possible for both to win. Your deed is not a matter of honor for your clan. This enmity will only induce in other kings with their chariots waving banners, side-splitting laughter. When Nedungalli hides himself inside Amur, when that city is besieged, he receives a stern rebuke from the same poet. Together with their dark-skinned female herds, not having their bath in big tanks, not being fed on ghee-mixed rice rolled into balls, tuskers struggling to free themselves bend their paws, sigh, shout like thunder, their hands sweeping the ground. Infants weep without milk, women tie up their flower-lost hair. For want of water, there are cries from well-built houses. Improper is your happy stay here, lord of a mighty horse, unequaled in strength. If you are virtuous, open the door, offering to fight. Being neither virtuous nor heroic, but hiding yourself in your own place behind the doors of a well-fortified fortress is, if we ponder over it, a shameful act. When Soran Kulamutrattu Tunjiya Killi Vadavan tried to have the children of Malayaman crushed to death by elephants, Kovur Kirar made a touching appeal to the heartless king and saved them. Here is his appeal. You are the descendant of one that relieved a dove's grief and removed many more miseries. These are the descendants of men who provided cool shade and shared their food with others, fearing the poverty of those who eat by ploughing the fields of knowledge. Seeing the elephant, these young children, wearing their hair unoiled, have forgotten to weep, but are struck with a new fear at the sight of many. If you have fully listened to me, you may do as you like. When a poet named Ilantattan was mistaken for a spy by Nedungalli and was about to be killed, Kovur Kilar intervened and saved him by telling the king that a poet's innocent, harmless life is in no way inferior to a king's proud life. He says, these bards, looking for benevolent kings, go from place to place like birds, travel long, ungrudgingly, sing to the best of their ability with their imperfect tongues, happily accept what is given, feed their flesh and blood, eat without saving, and give without keeping. Does this hard life in search of alms do any harm to others, but for its victories in poetic contests, its proud bearing, its delightful demeanor? It too has the grandeur of the life of kings of growing fame like you, who are endowed with the wealth of ruling the earth. A poet called Narivaru Talayar tells his benefactor, a Chera king. He tells him, you are the ruler of a land in whose dense forest tuskers roam like a huge herd of cows amidst buffalo-like dark stones. O Lord, since you are what you are, I have a word for you. Avoid those that go to an endless hell by being bereft of grace and love. Protect your people like those that tend their children. Reign of a nation is an act of benevolence not easy to win. Vellaikudi Naganar praises a Chola king to the skies, but warns him against ignoring the farmers. He says, in this world of dense earth, bordered by the sea, impregnable to the wind, domed by the sky, the cool Tamil land is owned by 3 kings that have drum-beating armies. Of these, yours is the real reign, my lord. Even if the hot-rayed sun rises in all 4 directions, and the bright-rayed silver planet goes to the south, the cool, lovely Kaveri will, through its channels, feed with water all the fields where sugar canes with swaying nodes and dancing white flowers look like heaped lances. Yours is the real land, proud possessor of this wealthy place. Listen, therefore, I have something that concerns you. When people pray for justice, as if virtue itself were the judge, you, humble and accessible, are like the rain that pours where a drizzle is begged for. Your broad canopy that rivals the sky dazzles the eyes and looks like a thick cloud in the midst of the vaulted heavens is not there to block the sun but to protect the grieving poor. Vadavan with a pointed spear, the victory gained on the broad battlefield where groups of tuskers fight and lie scattered like pieces of the hollowed palmyra tree, when your warriors resist the onrushing army and laugh at the retreating backs is due to the yield from the fields furrowed by the plowshare of your farmers. The world will blame kings if rains cease or the harvest declines or some harm is done by forces other than nature. If you have realized it well, and ignoring those that spread baseless slanders, if you alleviate the poverty of farmers that care for the ploughing oxen and save the citizens from hunger, even foes will hail your feet. Madurai Marudhanayagam tells a Pandya king that though triumph grows out of the 4 divisions of an army, it is ultimately a king's pursuit of the high road of righteousness that is still the root cause of his victory. Marudhanayagam says, like the one eye on the lovely crescent shining forehead of the Lord with a stained throat, who from a big mountain bow and a snake string released a single arrow that ruined 3 forts and won the war for mighty gods, you, Maran, wreath adorned, are the best of the 3 kings. A king's reign relies first on a just rule, though the 4 wings, indignant, murderous elephants, swift-footed, headstrong horses, tall chariots with huge flags, and strong-chested, war-loving soldiers may enhance its glory. Don't let your law bend for the wicked because they are yours, and don't do harm to the honest because they are others. Being endowed with the 3, the ferocious heroism of the sun, the softness of the cool moon, and the clouds' generosity, and helping the poor, may you live long, O dignified ruler, for many more years than the sands gathered together in heaps by mighty winds on the wide, captivating shores of the sea, assailed by white-headed waves in Sendil, where the formidable whale forever lives. Pisarandayar instructs a king in the art of collecting taxes from his citizens. He advises him, the yield from the field of less than a ma will last many days if the ripe paddy is cut and the rice fed to a tusker in mouthfuls. Though the land may be more than 100 seru, if it enters alone to eat, its legs will spoil more than what reaches its mouth. If the brainy king knows the way to collect taxes, his land will prosper after paying him 1 crore. If the ruler is weak in mind, always in the midst of his clamorous clan that knows no rank, if he desires enormous wealth got by killing love, as with the field that the tusker entered, he can't be fed and the world will be ruined. There are 2 poems on the tragic fight between a Chera and a Chola king, which resulted in the total annihilation of the 2 big armies. Kadathalayar's poem, graphically describing the utter devastation, ends wishing the warriors eternal fame besides a place in the other world. But Paranar's poem underlines the futility of war, hinting at the stupidity of the 2 kings who waged a meaningless war and fell, causing the desolation of the 2 countries. Paranar sings, countless tuskers, arrows shattering them, were killed by soldiers, stopping them from doing any more deeds. All the horses famed for their conquest, perished in the field with their heroic men. The warriors brought in their chariots dead en masse, their shields hiding their eyes. The war drums, strapped, well made, leather bound, were of no avail, their bearers being no more. The kings, fighting to the finish, lost their lives, their sandal pasted chests pierced by long spears. What sorrow will afflict their kingdoms, captivating and vast spaced, with new income undiminished, where women decked with amble bangles after eating fresh owl to their fill plunge into the cool river. Puranar is reported to have made concerted efforts to bring together the great philanthropist Pagan and his wife who had fallen apart. He tells Pagan, this is his advice, fearing that the black's soft-natured peacock will tremble in the cold, you mercifully gave your garment. Pagan of everlasting fame, you have virile tuskers and swift horses. We are not famished, have no kin to care for. Playing the small yawl with its stem dark as the kala fruit, to induce those that loving music to sway to the rhythm. We have come to tell you, lover of mercy, do virtuous deeds. This is the present we beg of you. Tonight, climbing the tall chariot with beauteous bells, go to the lady that stays away, having been shunned, and cure her sad illness. In another poem, he chides the king, using a harsh language and giving all the heart-rending details about the condition of his wife. Not to show your grace now is grievously wrong. When darkness descended, we sang a song with our small yawl, playing the Chevali pun in praise of your forest that looked lovely, receiving monsoon rains. Her grief became uncontrollable. Intermittent tears streaming down darkened her bejeweled bosom. Young lady, are you related to the one that likes our intimacy? We addressed her reverently. Wiping her tears with her candle-like fingers, she said, listen to me. We are not his relatives, desiring the beauty of someone like us. They say, Pagan of widespread fame visits every day Mullai fenced Nallur in his noisy chariot. There cannot be a more effective chastisement than this realistic account of the misery of the abandoned woman. That this episode about the estrangement between Pagan and his wife Kannagi is an actual historical occurrence is borne out by the fact that apart from Puranar, 3 more poets, including the formidable Kapilar, have full-length poems on it. Kapilar wants to know from him who that woman is. He asks, making many offerings to their god, the Kuravar would pray, let clouds crowd round the hill, and when it ceaselessly rains, let clouds rise above. As rain changes its course, they would happily eat the millet from the fields on the slopes of your hill. Pagan, you have swift horses, wage angry wars, and give generously. Who is that pathetic woman? Yesterday, as my kith and kin, tired of its trip across the wasteland, felt hungry, we stood before a house outside the small town on the huge hill where the stream sounds like the beating drum, sang your glory and your hills, she couldn't stop her ominous tears from wetting her breast and wept bitterly like a mournful flute. Arisil Kada's advice to Pagan is more open and offensive. He tells him, we don't like to receive your generously given wealth of jewels, Pagan of bloody battles, when I sing with my small yawl, playing the Severi pun, the glory of your good hilly land. If you desire to give a present with love, let your horses be yoked to your tall swift chariot, my lord, so that your woman, pitiably weak, grief-stricken, may with sweet smoke perfume her soft, densely gathered up hair, resembling a peacock's tail lifted by the wind, and wear a cool, fragrant garland. Emphasizing the beauty of her hair that has been left unwashed and undecorated because of her inconsolable grief, Perungundur Kidar makes a similar plea. He says, if we have come to you playing the Severi pun on a small yawl, having crossed many hills where streams roll down rocky caves, the gift we desire from you is you are going with us today to her, so that King of Avir, the lady who mourning all alone, her eyes red, proud, cool, her skin pale and lovely, was listening yesterday to the sound of sweet drops of winter rain, may wash her pitch dark hair untouched by oil, making it spotless as the polished blue stone, and wear a mass of fresh flowers strung together.